every so often there's a video game that comes around that you can't quite describe. It's whether it be mechanically or what it looks like or what it is. It's just difficult to talk about.
And then doubly so when it kind of comes out of nowhere and we didn't really know about it for a long time, and then suddenly this thing appears from a studio that's never made a game before. Yeah,
that's also true when it's their first thing. I've known about this game for a little bit, but not terribly long, and it was always fascinating. So this is Disco Elysium. It is an isometric detective murder mystery RPG.
Can I just say this is also one of the best main menus I think I've ever seen?
Yeah, so this is one of the things about this game is that its style is very weird and dreamlike a lot of the time. Everything's very swimmy and it's all bright colour. It's a very straight part of how strange this game is. So the first thing I want to show you is the character creator, because this will give you an idea of how this game sort of operates.
So this is a CRPG kind of, right?
Kind of. I would define it more as an isometric RPG than a CRPG.
Okay, sorry.
CRPG would imply more like you have a party and you have classes and all that sort of stuff. It's an isometric RPG. It's also kind of basically a visual novel told from that perspective, so it's kind of weird.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, when you look at this,
they look like classes.
So, well, kind of. You're presented with this sort of archetype. So you play this guy with the great mustache you see in the photos.
Yep.
Again, art gorgeous. But I'll say that I've played this game for 4 hours. I don't know what the name of the main character is, and that's on purpose. They specifically don't. So the archetype that you select will kind of give a bent to what that character is. It's like whether they're a thinker or they're more about feelings and emotions, or if they do stuff physically. Which, when you look at it from the perspective of an RPG, you're like, oh, the thinker is going to be like the guy who's like knows everything and can solve cases. The sensitive guy is going to be the guy that's good at talking to people, and the physical guy is going to beat people up.
Yep.
That's kind of not how it works in this game. So I'm going to go create your own to show you what this means. So you have 4 stats.
Man, I fucking love how this thing looks.
It's a really good looking game. The 4 stats, you get intellect, psych, physique, and motorics, I think is how you pronounce this.
Motorics?
Motorics, I don't know. So yeah, it is written how it says here. So your intellect is your raw brain power, your psyche is how sensitive and emotionally intelligent you are, your physique's how strong you are, and your motorics, is how I've been pronouncing it, is like your agility and how good you are with your hands.
Okay.
These relate to the base power of any given stat. Okay? So you have your base of any given skill. So you pick your stats. I'm just going to stick with this and not change anything. But when you look at this and it goes on to your skill menu, which looks like this. Okay. So this is where the game... It doesn't explain this now, but I can explain it. What this is are different aspects of your own mind that come into play as you are being a detective. So this is kind of taken from the school of like detective like novels and movies and stuff, where there's a lot of like the detective looking around the crime scene and talking to himself.
Right.
These kind of define what aspects of your inner monologue are gonna come in and talk, and this is where your skill set is. It relates also to like you being able to interact with the world and stuff like that, but it's mainly about what parts of your psyche are going to start talking at any given moment. So like...
What? Wow, okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at the names of these.
It's really weird. It'll make a little bit more sense when we start playing it. But like, so when I made a character, I chose Encyclopedia as my signature skill, which is just like a +1. Which is just like your general, you are good at facts. Like you...
Produce fascinating trivia. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Again, art on all of this is amazing. But... so it's just like your inner monologue a lot of the time is like when someone says something, you go, oh, that is this, and you get information about the world and about what's going on from that. Because I had intellect as my highest stat as well, you get a lot of logic and rhetoric coming in as well. So there's a lot of like cold hard raw intellectual logic of this is what this is and this is what this means.
But according to the archetype at the start, the trade-off there is that like your interpersonal skill is not the best.
Yeah, so because I think I put physique lower, so I'm not terribly strong, but I am very intelligent. And rhetoric comes into it, which is just about discourse and being able to talk to people and convince them of arguments. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But then you get slightly more.
Can I just see the description for visual calculus? I need to know.
Visual calculus.
Top right.
Yeah.
Reconstruct crime scenes, make laws of physics.
So that is your mental ability to see how things were in the world and like.
That's your Sherlock vision, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yep. It's more about your ability to see things in a physical space. So it's like, if you see someone with a gunshot wound, you can kind of calculate back where the gunshot came from, that sort of thing.
Makes sense.
And they all, because they're all aspects of your personality and your mind, they all have different personalities of their own on how they talk to you. Because it's supposed to be different aspects of your brain, so they act in different ways when they're talking to you. So like, drama, of course, is very dramatic. It is all about you're trying to like play a character and like lie and do things to try and get the case moving. But then when you start looking at the other things that aren't to do with intelligence, you get stuff like physical instrument, which is
flex muscles, enjoy healthy organs.
Literally just you're the strong man. But physical instrument as its own personality is kind of like toxic masculinity. It is like it is very much about you being the man, and when you do things physically to assert your manliness over other men and other people in the world, and that also means that things that are slightly more feminine or on the LGBT spectrum really don't play well to your physical instrument part of your brain. It starts freaking out when stuff like that starts happening. So yeah, the parts of your brain work to your benefit, but also work to your detriment in a way, because there's a lot of in-game mechanics where it will your brain starts like leading you down routes of thought that are not exactly conducive to a healthy working mind, and you can choose to go down those thoughts and go on a really long tirade like down your own psyche, or you can choose to not. It's a very weird thing. But I'll show you what the game
is it worth seeing the start of this, or is it worth just jumping into where you are?
No, the start of it is really weird. The start of it is bizarre in a very strange way.
Like not worth seeing?
No.
So how are you actually enjoying this? Like you said, you're 4 hours in.
It's really fucking cool. This game is one of the most unique games I think I've ever played. It is, while it starts as like a the way it presents itself and the way that it goes about telling you things is not like any other game that you would see in this sort of genre. Again, because it's a lot of conversation with yourself and different aspects of your personality. It's a lot about introspection and like basically the start of this game is you wake up naked on a motel floor with amnesia because you had a heavy night of drinking beforehand. And so that's kind of how the game plays it, in the sense of you're in a place you don't know, is because your character can't remember anything. So there's a lot of internalization of that stuff, but it's also a game that deals a lot in political discourse and political drama. Like, so the place that you're in is a place called Revachol, which is an island peninsula that has been the focus of like large worldwide revolution that was effectively communism versus capitalism. And I say effectively, it was communism versus capitalism. And capitalism wins, and you can see, like, based on like the cracks on the ground and the fact that all the buildings are kind of like bombed out and stuff, that there was like heavy fire and stuff in this area.
This is after this conflict.
So this is after the conflict, but it's still that conflict is still at the heart of the society, so it's talked about a lot. So yeah, if you just sort of wander around, so this is me as the man in the green jacket as he sort of looks around. Again, don't know his name. This is Kim Kutsaragi, who is your partner from the precinct of the area that you're in. And you've been tasked with investigating the murder of... I'll show you over here.
So you are a cop, like,
you're a cop, yeah.
It's not like private detective.
Well, again, because of the state of the world, cop is a kind of relative term.
Gotcha,
You're part of this group called the RCM, which are like, they're cops and they're detectives, but they're not government related. They're sort of like area related. Okay. It's strange. So what you deal with is the murder of this guy, who is hanging in the tree.
Oh Jesus! Right. Yep.
Yeah, he has been hanging.
Is that kid throwing stones at that body?
Yeah. I get to that in a second.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're tasked with investigating this murder. So the thing that you'll notice is that sometimes you get this little bubble appearing above your head. That is your brain talking to you. So that is, if it's yellow, it means it is the physical part of your brain, so your motoric part of your brain. So if you look at it, it is like you smell something bad, so it's something physical. Yeah. Again, writing in this game is fantastic. It is incredibly long and deep, and it goes a bunch of different places. So I talked to the kid. I'll warn you ahead of time because I've seen this before. This kid says some bad shit, but it's...
Kono's got this!
Oh.
So yeah, voice acting. This is set in an area that can really be described as like slightly French. Because Revachol and all the names of the places have like French names. But there are accents from everywhere. Like Kim Kusaragi is like obviously supposed to be like Japanese or Korean or something.
Yes.
This kid's from Liverpool. There's like people from all over the world, so I don't really understand where the... Okay. So this is the first showing of how your skills work. So this kid has basically just said something is throwing rocks at the dead body. So the conceptualization skill that you have, again, it's saying like to get this to proc, it is a medium success, so you need a 10 total, and you got an 11. Again, it is based on a dice roll of...
Is there a dice roll?
Yeah, 2d6s is the dice rolls for everything.
Oh wow, okay.
It's one of the basic, it's like, I think Apocalypse World is one of the RP systems that's based on d6s.
Okay.
So when it passes, it says, if there is such thing as an ugly kid, then this is it. He's exquisite in his ugliness, like a gremlin. Like that is...
So if there's dice rolls behind this stuff, can you just keep doing the conversation?
No,
or does it like stop you?
It stops you. This is more... The conceptualization thing, when it's like a medium success thing, I'm not sure that this is a dice roll. This is just based on your straight skill level. So it's like your intellect plus your conceptualization skill plus whatever other bonuses you have.
Gotcha.
But it leads to the conceptualization part of your brain kind of maybe trying to figure out who this character is ahead of time.
Oh yeah, never comfy, Kuno.
I'm assuming that's a slur of some kind?
Yeah, again, your character has no link to any of this, so I don't even know what that means. So you're just like, hey, police business.
Right in the dick, Kuno! Get him right in the dick!
Wow.
Throw it in the dick!
This is where...
Whoa!
Exactly, yeah. They bleep it out, so it's not explicitly told or anything like that, but yeah, it gets pretty real at moments.
Wow. Okay.
Then, physical part of your brain, your perception, sees that the boy's sweating, eyes are like two black holes, jaws twitching, as if he was trying to break free from the empire of his body. That is...
Wow.
Incredibly... They deal a lot in descriptive language in this game, and that's kind of all it is.
Stop throwing rocks at my crime scene is a good line.
So yeah, there is a lot of... Because your character starts off as an amnesiac, you get a lot of dialogue choices that lead to you being like... questioning your own abilities as a cop, and like you can also play it off as like a hilarious sort of situation, being like, yeah, I'm a cop, of course this is what cops do, and if you do stuff like that, your brain starts doing some weird shit to you.
Can't talk, pig! She's coming up strong! Throwing rocks!
Again, electrochemistry is the part of your brain that deals with your knowledge of drugs and substances. And also how they react in your body. So because I have
So they're suggesting this kid's high on something?
So yeah, that's what the electrochemistry part of your body is saying, that there is something not right about this kid that is... drugs. The kid's on drugs. So again, the dialogue in your brain is two-way. Yeah.
That's like you having a conversation with your own brain.
So you are questioning the electrochemistry part of your brain, and that is answering you. That is how a lot of the dialogue in this game works.
That's very cool.
Ride the lightning, Kuno.
Kuno's riding it, see?
The rake, Kuno. You should throw the rake at him, Kuno.
The fuck does Kuno know what a rake is? Kuno's not a gardener.
Again, there is a lot of conversations that you can have with Kuno. We're not going to have them.
Which suggests that he does know what a rake is, considering he knows it's a gardening implement.
Yeah,
but okay.
Again, but when you talk to Kuno more and you learn about
Kid, you want to hang out? Sorry, kid, you want to hang out? I'm not a narc. Is
fuck
exactly.
No. Kuno doesn't buy that shit. Fucking entrapment shit.
Kid's pretty smart.
Yeah.
When I
I'm not a narc.
When I had this long conversation with Kuno, it ended with me trying to get information out of him and him saying that I was conducting pedophilia on him and trying to touch him in the wrong way.
Wow. Okay.
So so it goes some weird places.
Is it? Because I've seen. So I've been reading a bit about this game, various people's reactions to it, and some of the reactions have been that like it's dark, but not dark. It's nasty in a way that like a lot of games aren't. Like nasty is a very specific description. Like a lot of games are dark, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of games deal with dark themes, and that's great.
But
there's like a nastiness to this, like a dirt to it.
Because your character is this like amnesiac alcoholic cop.
Yeah.
You get a lot of time spent with your own brain telling you you're a piece of shit, and.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's a lot of really dark, nasty places that this goes to. That is kind of unnerving, but at the same time, it's something that not other games have done before, really.
At any point, have you felt it like it's gone too far?
No, it all feels perfectly appropriate.
Okay.
I wanted to show you this area specifically because there's two guys here that are sitting playing bulls, and I had a moment earlier where my physical instrument took over. The physical instrument part of my brain, I just let it run wild, and it said like, "Oh yeah, you know what these bulls are. Like they're nothing. Like you could thrash these old dudes in this game." So your character picks up the bull and like weighs it in his hand, and then your physical instrument just takes over, going, "You're a man. You're like the alpha male. You should be able to do this." And your character just fucking humps the bull into the river.
Wow.
And then your physical instrument goes, "Yeah, you showed them," and then cuts out. And you're like, oh shit, what the hell have I done? Like,
so are you using these like?
And it led to me saying,
like items.
What do you mean, the brain?
Like the brain part. Like, do you use them like an inventory item, or do they just appear?
They just turn up in conversations, and you can choose to run with it or not. It's the and it led to the task that I have now that is like, where is it? I can't remember. There's a task that if you do it until because I've not done it yet. I may be able to do it now and show you what I mean.
Yeah.
Have you no shame?
I'm interested to see how
whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
Things like you trigger that part of your brain.
You're a man with a fork in a world of soup.
Man with a fork in a world of soup.
Let's just try to enjoy the I am trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration.
So
you're old. I can see that.
Oh, okay.
We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
Basically, like okay, do it or like either go with it or don't go with it. Like that's kind of what this is.
So it's like. Shouldn't I ask what this game first is? I got it.
So you do know what fucking game this is?
Yeah.
These men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab the ball and play it.
Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask never. Okay. So that is physical instrument to a T.
Yeah, let's go with
physically do it and go. So yeah, ball time. Don't even waste your breath asking about the game. They wouldn't know anyway. They're way past their prime. You're the man. Like that's the.
Oh, so you can observe them.
You can observe them if you want to, but if you want to let physical instrument go wild, you can.
Let's.
So you get,
oh wow!
So the choices in your speech and how you act affect your skill checks. So like if you talk to someone about the murder and you've gone through the process of like maybe finding some evidence first, your skill checks will pass more readily based on the evidence you had. But there's also the situation where if you try and talk to someone and you press them too hard, they reel back from you. It's then harder to get information out of them while all your checks have a negative. So yeah, if we just grab the ball and show them how it's done, pass the check.
How do you know he passed the check?
Because it was green. Didn't show you. You also had like an 83% chance of passing, so it was probably likely. So then that kind of like shudder is like your brain is starting to take over and just you don't have control anymore.
Okay.
Kind of, in a way. So like your hand-eye coordination is saying like the ball's got some weight to it and it's a metal ball. This is yours would only be covered in bumps and learning of scars of victory.
You and the ball have merged into a single entity. The man ball is ready.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
So there's a chilling breeze that ruffles your hair and your feet firmly on the ground. Nothing left but union of man and ball.
Yeah, go be the ball.
But then you get options like this where it's like, now that you're in your own head, you can start being really introspective and be like, who am I? The embodiment of pure emotion. Again, stuff like hand-eye coordination just wants to do things. Like when you start doing stuff, it just wants to do it. Esprit de Corps is like your identity as a police officer. And your sense of camaraderie to the police and that sort of idea, that's your Esprit de Corps.
Okay.
So the inertia can be contained like a bullet leaving a gun, be the bullet. So again, physical instrument and hand-eye coordination take over your brain and you just fucking yeet that thing into the river.
Wow. Wow.
And then everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing? You just threw our ball in the river. Yeah, Rhetoric says that's what.
So weirdly enough, so that one's in asterisks, but is a knowable phrase.
Yeah. Again, I think that's just more like air quotations.
Right.
Your visual calculus tells you that it was probably something like 24 meters. It's like that's what visual calculus is for. It's like gauging distances and yeah.
Right. Cool.
And then this guy's just like, what the fuck? Like, you threw a ball in the river.
I mean, understandably.
Yeah.
No, we
tricep, that's for sure. You do not ruin someone's game, it's so goddamn disrespectful. You're like, I'm sorry. You vandalized their game. Honest mistake. We're not good. A Venus worth out, Baldy Galarn. We want our bull back. And then you get a quest which is like, you need to find a bull. That is the...
Oh wow, okay.
And then, yeah, sometimes when you do stuff like this, your brain just sort of takes over and go, why did you do that in the first place? Your logical brain takes over and goes, what the fuck happened there? Like, why are you doing this?
Right. Or then it's like, oh, now that we fucked with these guys, can we ask them
about the murder? Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't know anything, so it's like... Again, when you start saying things like... You start talking about the fact that you're a cop, some people are just like, there aren't any cops, why should I talk to you?
Right, okay.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to know about the crime. It's better spent discussing politics, which Rhetoric likes. Rhetoric likes talking about.
Wow.
Rhetoric likes talking in arguments and discussion and.
Right. Sure. Yeah. It's
you can sort of shut them down.
Sure. It's
so
the Reddit part of the brain. Got you.
Pretty much. So that's kind of what this game is.
So is there like I know you said it wasn't a CRPG, but like is there like combat?
No.
Is it all this?
Not what I've seen. It is all.
Okay.
Detective work, it is all talking to people, it's all finding stuff, it's all messing with your own head.
So like, is there like, I was gonna say oh wow, holy shit, right.
Yeah, so the only thing that matters in this menu, so you've got tools, which are things you can interact with the world.
Yep. And
you've got clothes, which are, give you different bonuses to your stats. Yeah.
Right.
Bonuses.
Disco ass blazer.
So yeah, they deal a lot in... They don't specifically talk about the time that this game is set in.
Yeah.
In fact, it's set specifically in a time called 51, and that's it. They say you're in like March of 51.
So the
but it's
fact
not
that
of like 2051. It's just 51.
Yeah. The fact that there's a bullet section and a health section suggests there's some kind of maybe like at least physical interaction, and they wouldn't give you a bunch of stats about punching people if they weren't going to let you punch people.
The morale is more for. If you let your brain go too far and you find out something you don't like about yourself, you take morale damage. It's
oh jeez,
yeah, it's weird.
Very real. Okay, yep.
And yeah, so the clothes will give you bonuses, and they talk a lot about in the history of the game where it was like you being like an older cop. You're from the time when you were young in this era called the New, where it was all like disco and drugs and there was lots of money going around and everything was great.
It's very 70s,
yeah, and now it's just not that, so you are like a relic of the past, which is why you have all these like disco clothes and you talk about disco and So you have these, you have items that you can sell, and you have things that you can interact with, which are like their own puzzles in and of themselves.
Okay.
One of my favourite mechanics in this game is this, which is, it's called the Thought Cabinet.
Thought Cabinet?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Which is when you learn things about the world or you discover stuff, you can internalize it and deal with it in your own head. So like,
oh wow.
The best thing I can give the example of is this rigorous self-critique thing, which came about by my character basically spending 5 minutes delving deep into their own psyche and realizing they were a piece of shit, and they were like horrible at their job and they're an alcoholic and like all this horrible negative stuff. You get this rigorous self-critique thing, and you can then spend time and skill points internalizing your rigorous self-critique to then turn it into a stat benefit. So you like you develop as a person based on these revelations about yourself.
So it's some kind of weird like self-reflection skill tree almost.
Yes, it's almost exactly that. It's not always about self-reflection. It's sometimes like things in the world, like this Guillaume Milon guy that was the king at some point. That there is him being the king is ironically linked to how the world is. So you have to internalize your knowledge of this person and your understanding of Guillaume Le Mans. That is.
So it says like remaining 0 hour 52 minutes.
Yeah.
Like what is that? Just
that's
like
in game time.
Resolved
so
in that minute.
Time. Yeah. So in that time you'll have a breakthrough, as it's called, where you realize something that you didn't realize before, or remember something you've forgotten, or whatever it is.
So what happens is it just kind of cut into the action and go, by the way, you've had a thought. Like
one of your thought bubbles appears that is white, and then it comes up and says breakthrough, and then gives you a whole mess of dialogue about like what you discovered and what you remembered.
Is it real time or in-game time?
It's in-game time.
Oh, so you could like sleep it off or whatever.
Yeah, so I had a moment later on where I blacked out for a bit. I woke up a few hours later, and one of my things I'd had a revelation about one of my things.
Right.
Yeah. This game is weird, but it is super fascinating.
Yeah, like I've never seen something like this before. Like it looks like a thing that it's not, and that threw me off originally.
This whole game deals a lot in like very, very heavy political critique and like internalizations of trauma and a whole bunch of really out there, pretty dark things about the world. But it does it in this weird, ephemeral, dreamlike way where everything is sort of... This game behaves a lot like a dream, where it is like things just sort of happen that don't logically make sense, but they make sense to the narrative that you're trying to push forward, and it's a weird... you could really kind of have to play it to understand what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
But I urge, if anybody sees this and it looks even vaguely interesting to you, to try it. Because this thing it gets weird and crazy. It's
incredibly annoying because I do not have time for another 9-hour game.
I know.
Right now.
This is the thing, is that this game is really long, but it is super fascinating.
Do you know like how big the world is?
So I've spent 4 hours in it, and I've never got past this bit of the map. Like, it is
really?
Yeah.
So is there like an overworld map or something?
I don't know. I've got no idea.
Right.
Like to the west of the docks, to the up where the crime scene is, and then the east there's like a workers' revolt happening that I can't get through, and there's a whole bunch of shit that they talk about other areas and you have to go to other areas, but I can't get out of this area now, and I've spent 4 hours doing various things, just talking to people and blacking out and having various internal traumas. But
weird. Okay, yeah, great. Okay, cool.
So this is Disco Elysium. It's 30 quid on Steam and GOG.
I think it's 34.
Maybe 34.
On Steam before we started.
It is one of the most unique games you'll ever play. If you like good character work and good writing and a story that is both dark and humorous and weird and interesting, you should try this out. I'm not going to show any more because I don't want to ruin it for people. So
fair enough.
Thank you for this, Ewan.
Yeah, thanks, Calum.